Okay, hello everyone. IO Psychology lecture tayo today. Ang topic natin, motivation in the workplace. Many things na sasabihin ko in this lecture is based on this journal article tungkol sa employee motivation. Pwede nyo tong i-download and then you can just read it on your own. And of course, hindi mawawala yung main textbook natin by Michael Amott. This is chapter 9 of the text. Marami akong mga sinabi dito is based on this chapter. So for those of you, lalo na mga estudyante ko, basahin nyo itong chapter 9 page by page. Marami akong sinabi dito in this lecture. It's based on that chapter. But basically, in this lecture, ito lang yung tanong na gusto kong sagutin, how to motivate employees. At syempre, ano ang sagot ko dito? It's based on this article and on this chapter. Wala akong sasabihin dito na opinion ko lang. This is what IO Psychology Research has to say about this question. Paano ba natin i-motivate yung mga empleyado natin? Yan, para maging ganito kasaya yung mga employees. Okay? So, principle number 1 about motivation, the basics muna. Remember that motivation is all about movement. The essence of being motivated is about movement. Trivia, alam nyo ba na yung word na motivation came from the Latin word movere, which means to move. Ibig sabihin, yung essence ng motivation, may kinalaman yan sa paggalaw. And if you check the online dictionary by the APA, this is in line with the root word of motivation. Ito yung definition ng motivation sa online dictionary ng APA. Just read on your own silently. Pwede nyo i-pause yung lecture if you like. And I want to highlight the word impetus. Ang ibig sabihin pala ng impetus, a simpler term, would be energy. So motivation is a form of energy. At ano yung function ng energy na yan? It gives you purpose and direction to your behavior. Pinupush ka ng energy na to para mag-work, para gumawa ka ng mga bagay na productive. Because again, that's the essence of motivation. You are moving. Ano ba ang basic unit na kailangan to make movement possible? Ang sagot, energy. Kaya nga, sa Tagalog, ang motivation is gana. Pag ginamit mo yung word na gana, may kinalaman yun sa paggalaw. For example, may electric fan, tapos in-on mo, tapos hindi gumalaw yung electric fan, anong sasabihin mo? Ay, yung electric fan hindi gumagana or hindi gumagalaw. O, in psychology, ganun din, no? Kapag sinabi mong wala kang kagana-ganang kausap or wala kang kagana-ganang kasama, it means that person na sinabihan mo nun, wala siya masyadong energy. Hindi kanya kinakausap or mahina yung energy niyang gumalaw. Kaya mo siya nasabihan na wala kang kagana-ganang tao. Wala kang motivation na tao. Nagigets nyo? So, yun ang essence ng motivation. Again, it's all about movement. Now, anong kinalaman ng motivation in the field of IO psychology, which is about work behaviors? Motivation is the basic fuel that you need to make work behaviors. Ibig sabihin, ang tao hindi yan magtatrabaho kung walang certain degree of motivation. I-zoom in natin to. Look at this framework. A person's level of motivation will determine his or her willingness to work. So kapag may nakita kang tao na workaholic, mahilig magtrabaho, galaw ng galaw, maraming ginagawa, now you know why. Bakit? Mataas ang level of motivation. And vice versa, bakit may mga tao na tamad magtrabaho tulad ni Juan Tamad, asawa ni Mrs. Tamad? Why? Kasi mababa ang level of motivation. Now, this framework will lead you to ask a question. So, given this, paano natin mapapataas yung motivation ng tao to encourage them to work more? Diba? That's one of the most productive things you can do in IO psychology. Pataasin mo yung motivation para tumaas din yung work behavior. Ang tanong, paano? As we go along this lecture, i-reveal ko what are those different factors, psychological factors that will increase an employee's motivation. Okay? Now, given that definition of motivation, exercise number 1, pause the video and then you reflect. Gaano ka ka-motivated na tao in a scale of 1 to 10? 10 the highest and 1 the lowest. Yan, isipin mo. Gaano ka ka-motivated na tao? Yan. And then, we proceed to exercise number 2. Answer these questions on your own. You can just pause the lecture if you like. Yan. Okay? And then, balikan nyo na lang yung mga sinabi ko para malaman nyo kung ano ang tamang sagot in the following questions. Now, let's move on to principle number 2. Being motivated is a normal state. I want to highlight on normal state. Ibig sabihin kapag yung tao motivated, normal yung tao. And vice versa, kapag yung tao mababa ang motivation, hindi yun normal. That person needs help. Now, before I dig deeper into this, alam nyo ba yung theory ni Abraham Maslow, the hierarchy of needs, there is a context kung bakit niya ginawa yung hierarchy of needs. Basically, Maslow during that time wanted to answer the question how to be motivated. Paano ba ginaganahan yung tao? Kaya niya ginawa yung hierarchy of needs. Sabi niya, ang tao ginaganahan kasi gusto niyang gumawa ng mga behaviors para ma-secure niya yung mga needs sa hierarchy. That's where motivation comes from. Araw-araw bumabangon tayo, nagtatrabaho tayo para ma-secure natin yung mga elemento na to na makikita sa pyramid. For example, right now, nagtatrabaho ako. Bakit? Ano nagmo-motivate sa akin? Para ma-secure ko yung physiological needs ko. Para susweldo ako, meron akong pang-grocery. Yung ibang tao nagtatrabaho para they will feel secure for their future. Sino yan? Kayo yan, students. Bakit kayo nag-aaral? Bakit kayo nagtsatsaga na pakinggan itong lecture na to? Because this will increase your grades, and having good grades will translate to a Lasallian diploma. At yung Lasallian diploma na yon in the future, more or less, will make you safe and secure kasi madaling makahanap ng trabaho. May mga tao nagtatrabaho kasi they feel love and belongingness as they work. Yung iba, they get esteem needs, recognition from their work. At yung iba nagtatrabaho because they are able to self-actualize. Nalalabas nila kung sino talaga sila in their line of work. Doon daw nanggagaling ang motivation, sabi ni Abraham Maslow. In fact, in connection to that, saan inintroduce ni Maslow yung hierarchy of needs niya? He introduced this by writing a book. Many psych majors don't know this, but the first time the hierarchy of needs was introduced is in his book entitled A Theory of Human Motivation. Kaya itong si Maslow, researcher talaga siya ng human motivation. But if there is one thing that this book claims, isa sa mga major claims ng book niya is the psyche should be motivated. Or if I use the term, ought to be motivated. Ang psyche talaga dapat, hindi pwedeng hindi, lagi siyang motivated. It's one of the needs. Kumbaga sa technological terms, default natin na dapat ang psyche natin motivated. Hindi pwedeng hindi tayo motivated. In fact, i-connect mo yan sa society natin. Bakit may mga tao, yung mga PDLs, people deprived of liberty, kahit na nakakulong sila, sinusustain pa rin natin yung motivation nila. We give them certain tasks, we allow them to do certain projects and handicrafts. Bakit? Kasi by doing this, nasusustain natin yung motivation nila. Although tinanggalan natin sila ng freedom because of certain offenses they committed in the society, it's inhumane against human rights na pati ba naman yung motivation nila isa-shutdown natin. Kasi nga hindi maganda, hindi normal sa tao na hindi motivated. So, violation of human rights kung pati yung motivation nila tatanggalin natin. Got that? Because again, it's default setting na ang psyche natin dapat merong certain degree of motivation. To further support that idea, kaya nga ang major depressive disorder is considered a disorder. If you analyze all the small symptoms of depression, ano ang summary? Kung titignan nyo isa-isa yung definition, yung symptom ng depression, ang summary niyan, ito yung mga tao na super baba ng level of motivation. Ito yung mga tao na nawala na ng gana sa buhay, nawala na ng gana sa lahat. Ayaw makipag-usap, ayaw lumabas ng bahay, ayaw nang mag-sports, ayaw nang gumawa ng kahit na anong activities. Now, you tell me, yung ganong pattern ng behavior, normal ba yon? Dapat ba i-respect na lang natin sila na ayaw nila gumawa ng mga activities? Hindi. Because again, being motivated is normal. Kapag sobrang baba ng motivation mo, hindi maganda yan, possible symptom of depressive disorder. That's why given all these things I'm saying, ang application lang dito is anyone who is not motivated needs help. Lalong-lalo na in the workplace. Kapag HR staff ka na, nakakita ka ng empleyado mo na bumaba yung motivation. Dati-rati punong-puno ng gana sa pagtatrabaho. Laging maaga, laging productive, nakikipag-usap sa mga office mates, participate sa mga group activities, and then all of a sudden biglang nawala lahat yon, bumaba lahat yon, red flag yon. As an HR staff, kailangan lapitan mo yung empleyado na yon and talk kung ano ba ang problema. Most likely, may problema yan, kaya bumaba yung level of motivation niya. Alright? So, motivation is a normal state of being a human. Now, saan galing ang motivation? Kilala nyo naman na siguro ako, no? Whenever I talk about origin of psychological elements, I always go back to the book of Genesis. Actually, saan ba galing yung energy na yan na nagpupush sa tao na gusto lagi magtrabaho? It has something to do with the nature of the creator of the psyche, who is God Himself. First book pa lang ng Bible, first line ng Bible, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, tells you na isang nature ng Diyos, He is a motivated God. Punong-puno siya ng energy, at yung energy niya ginagamit niya sa paggawa ng iba't ibang mga bagay at beings. He is a creator God. He is a working God. He is a motivated God. That's one quality that God has in the Bible. Ngayon, yung ganyang quality of God, ano nangyari? So we have this God who is a working God, who is a motivated God. He created man in His own image. Paulit-ulit na ako dito, theories of personality pa lang. What does it mean to be created in the image of God? It means meron tayong mga namana sa Kanya na mga spiritual traits. And one of those traits that we spiritually inherited would be God's motivation. Kaya tayo mga motivated na tao. Kasi namana natin yan from the God who created us. In fact, kung babasahin niyo yung Genesis 1:26, very interesting. Ano ba ang pinaka-purpose? Bakit ang tao gustong gawin ng Diyos? It's written, let them have dominion. Yung them dito, yung humans na plano niyang gawin. Humans pala are created to be stewards, para maging manager ng mga creation that God will later on make. Such as, yan na, fish of the sea, fowl of the air, cattle, so on and so forth. Okay? Ngayon, from 126, you jump to 128, anong pinagkaiba? Dito, ginawa na yung tao. Ito kasi plano pa lang eh. Dito, ginawa na. And so, the very first commandment of God, the first time God talked to humans, ito yung sinabi niya, be fruitful and increase in number hanggang basahin mo itong part na to. Now, what do you notice doon sa utos ng Diyos? Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish. You see these words? Very in line with 126. Ito yung plinano ng Diyos. Ito na nga yung nangyari. Yan na yung inutos ng Diyos. Now, one thing you have to notice, para ang tao magawa niya, yung utos na to ni God, from being fruitful until here, anong kailangan natin? A certain degree of motivation. Imposible na magawa natin to if God created us to be beings with no motivation. Got that? Kaya nag-complement, no? When He created humans in His own image, who became motivated humans, humans became capable of following this commandment. Nagigets nyo? Now, for those of you who say, ayan na naman si Sir Howard, nagba-Bible study na naman, meron bang science dyan? Meron. If you ask many physiologists, mga nag-aaral ng katawan ng tao, there is one special thing about the human body that makes it unique over all the creatures on earth, which is what? Tayo raw, yung katawan daw natin, ang pinaka may kaya ng mga complex movements. Kung i-observe nyo raw yung pwesto ng mga buto natin, kung anong klase yung mga joints natin, talagang whoever created the human body meant this body to move. Alam niya na yung katawan nito, na to, will be working a lot. And why do you think God created the human body like this? Because He wants to complement the psyche that's gonna enter this human body. Alam kasi ng Diyos na yung psyche ng tao, punong-puno ng motivation, so sinigurado niya na yung katawan natin will complement that psyche. Got that? So the psyche is very motivated. Binigyan tayo ni Lord ng katawan that is capable of meeting the motivation demands of that psyche. Imagine niyo na lang kung hindi complementary yung psyche tsaka yung katawan. Sobrang motivated ng psyche mo, pero yung katawan mo ang kaya lang gawin is forward, backward. Or siguro baliktad yung katawan mo, no? Mali yung pwesto ng katawan mo. Yung psyche mo pang tao, super motivated, pero yung katawan mo pang palaka. That's very frustrating. Are you getting my point? So it seems like the psyche and the body are complementary to each other in terms of the degree of motivation that God knows will be in human beings. That's why this is a further evidence that our human body is not an accident, it is designed. It is designed to complement the nature of the human psyche that is very motivated. Got that? So, normal talaga sa tao ang maging motivated. So, you can pause the video and then you can answer these exercise questions para ma-reinforce yung mga alam nyo so far about motivation. Teka ha, i-resize natin. Yan, para maayos. Okay? So, pause the video and then you answer these questions para mas ma-absorb ninyo yung mga sinabi ko so far. Now, let's move on to principle number 3. Motivation has positive workplace psychological effects. So, ang motivation, hindi lang siya basta energy that you feel, but whenever you feel that energy, you can expect na may mga magagandang behaviors na mangyayari, especially in connection to the workplace. For example, according to research, people who are highly motivated, nagiging ganito. By the way, I want to emphasize here, direct and strong relationship. This is a correlational term. So when you say one variable has direct and strong relationship with another variable, it means what? Pause the video and then you answer yourself. It means as one variable goes up, the other variable goes down. As one variable goes down, the other variable goes down. So, i-apply mo yan dito sa motivation. Pag sinabi mong ang motivation may direct and strong relationship with the following, it means the higher the motivation, the higher these elements become. So, ang mga empleyado na very motivated, mataas ang motivation, tumataas din ang job performance, job persistence, attendance, job commitment, and employee engagement, which are all good key performance indicators. Kapag tumataas itong mga variables na to, gumaganda yung quality ng work ng tao. Kaya kung gusto mong pagandahin yung quality ng work ng mga tao mo in the future, kailangan itong mga to tataas. At kailan daw tumataas yung mga to? Kapag yung motivation ng empleyado tumataas. But among these variables, gusto kong i-emphasize yung employee engagement because this is one of the most important variables in IO psychology. According to studies, kapag ito raw tumataas, talagang gumaganda ang quality of work, gumaganda ang performance ng organization overall. So for those of you who will own an organization in the future and you want your organization to be on top, maganda ang performance, make sure na yung mga empleyado mo are highly engaged. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng employee engagement? This is the degree of employees' dedication to the job. Keyword to remember, dedication. Ang mga taong mataas ang engagement, masasabi mo mga dedicated na tao yan sa trabaho nila. But what does it mean to say na ang isang tao dedicated sa trabaho? Ibig sabihin, lagi siyang bigay todo, lagi siyang nagbibigay ng malaking effort in doing the job that he or she is doing. Talagang mataas yung energy niya. Binibigay niya yung buong pagkatao niya in doing the job that he or she is doing. Now, given that definition of employee engagement, I want you to pause and visualize someone or nakakita na ba kayo ng isang taong ganyan? Very engaged sa trabaho niya. Talagang bigay todo tuwing nagtatrabaho siya. Ang taas ang energy niya, marami siyang ginagawa na hindi naman niya dapat gawin pero ginagawa pa rin niya para lang magawa niya ng maayos yung trabaho niya, then that person is someone na mataas ang employee engagement. Ako, may naiisip akong tao, no, na I would say mataas ang employee engagement, si employee number 23 of the Chicago Bulls by the name of Michael Jordan. Talagang kapag pinanood mo how Michael Jordan works as a basketball player, mataas yung employee engagement niya. Punong-puno siya ng energy, he gives a lot of extra efforts. Other than playing the basketball the right way, binibigyan din niya ng showmanship, ng entertainment, yung mga tao na nanonood sa kanya. Kahit hindi siya basketball player, let's say wala silang game, engaged pa rin siya sa trabaho niya, he prepares for the game. Talagang nag-gym yan, kumakain ng tama yan, gumagawa siya ng mga stretching exercises that will further improve his skill of being a good basketball player. Talagang buong oras, buong pagkatao ni Michael Jordan, binibigay niya sa trabaho niya na maging basketball player. That's what it means to be engaged as an employee. And as a result, anong sabi ng research kanina? Ang mga taong mataas ang employee engagement, gumaganda ang kalidad ng trabaho, they get rewarded by being like that. Pati yung organization kung saan sila nagtatrabaho gets rewarded. Like, because Michael Jordan is highly engaged. Other than his personal trophies, binigyan din niya ng maraming championships yung Chicago Bulls. Kaya maganda talaga na mataas ang employee engagement. Now, after everything I've said, now we can form a framework. Ang isang empleyado, mataas ang motivation, magkakaroon ng domino effect yan. Patataasin yan yung employee engagement, which will also increase the work quality of that person. So, magkakaroon siya ng mga personal accomplishments, makikinabang din yung organization kung saan nagtatrabaho yung highly engaged na empleyado. O, paano nga maging highly engaged yung empleyado kapag highly motivated yung empleyado? Kaya nga ang application dito, given this framework, is how do you make exceptional employees? Paano mo pagagalingin yung mga empleyado mo? Ang sagot, pataasin mo yung level of motivation nila. In the context of HR, pag HR perspective, HR practitioner ka, anong mga HR programs kaya yung magandang gawin para pag in-apply mo yung HR programs na yon, tataas yung motivation, magkakaroon ng domino effect, patataasin niya yan, patataasin niya yon. That's one of the things na dapat iniisip ng isang HR person. Different programs, different approaches in the organization na pangpataas ng motivation ng mga empleyado. Alright? Now, let's move on to principle number 4. Employees are motivated by different reasons. Ang motivation, hindi mo lang basa-basa yan nararamdaman, hindi yan basa-basa lumalabas yung energy, no? Merong mga reasons kung bakit ang mga tao motivated. And it's so important. It is so important to know the reasons why people are motivated. Bakit? Ibabalik natin sa framework na to. Kasi pag nalaman natin what makes people motivated, ang mangyayari, marunong na tayo kung paano palakasin to. Remember, pag lumalakas ang motivation, domino effect. It also increase this, it will also increase that. Pero bago mangyari lahat yon, dapat meron muna mangyari before this that will increase level of motivation. Yun yung reasons. Yun yung importance. Why do we need to know the reasons why employees are motivated in the first place? And to answer that question, no, there are 3 theories in IO psychology na ginagamit that will teach us what makes employees motivated. Para hindi masyadong mahaba yung lecture natin in today's lecture, focus lang muna ako sa number 3. I will make a separate lecture video on numbers 1 and 2. So, ang pag-uusapan lang natin ngayon, paano namomotivate ang mga empleyado according to intrinsic and extrinsic motivation theory. So, according to the theory by Ryan and Deci, ito yung authors ng theory na yan, very well-known researchers. If you Google their names, talagang hundreds of articles will come out. Ryan and Deci, no? And they are worth reading. So, according to their theory, people are motivated by both external and internal reasons. So, meron palang dalawang klase ng motivation. In the language of Ryan and Deci, a person can be intrinsically motivated or extrinsically motivated. So, kapag ikaw, yung reason mo, bakit ka ganado sa buhay, is something like this. Factors under intrinsic. Bakit ka nag-aaral? Bakit ka nanliligaw? Bakit ka mahilig magluto ng pagkain? If your reason has something to do with this, interest, enjoyment, satisfaction, autonomy, meaning, then intrinsically motivated ka. Pero kapag ganado ka, mag-basketball kasi, yan, rewards, pressure to perform, competition, compliance, ego involvement, then extrinsically motivated kang mag-basketball. Okay? So these are the different reasons, the different factors that make employees motivated. But going back to Ryan and Desi, meron silang warning na binigay. We should not consider intrinsic and extrinsic motivation to be categorical. Hindi mo dapat ika-categorize yung tao kung intrinsic or extrinsically motivated ba siya. Hindi mo sasabihin na yung eto dahil naka-black, intrinsically motivated to. Ito may suot na necktie, kaya extrinsically motivated to. Kasi according to Ryan and Desi, lahat naman ng tao at a certain degree, intrinsically motivated and extrinsically motivated. Both present. Pareho tayong may certain level of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So, instead of considering these two as categorical, ang sabi ni Ryan and Desi, you need to look at these two motivations in a spectrum. So, yung extreme niyan, extreme left is extrinsic motivation, extreme right is intrinsic motivation. At lahat tayo are somewhere in between those spectrums or in those extremes. It's just that nagkakaiba lang tayo kung alin ang mas matimbang sa atin. Are you more extrinsically motivated than intrinsically motivated? Or vice versa? Are you more intrinsically motivated than extrinsically motivated? Yan. So, lahat tayo, we are somewhere in between. Pareho tayong may certain degree of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Mas matimbang lang tayo sa isa over the other. Diba, parang yung lagi kong analogy dito when I talk about spectrums is handedness. Pag sinabi mong right-handed ka, hindi ibig sabihin wala kang left hand or hindi mo ginagamit yung left hand mo. It's just that you use your right hand more than your left. Ganun din, pag sinabi mong left-handed, hindi ibig sabihin nun wala kang right hand or hindi mo ginagamit yung right hand mo. Mas ginagamit mo lang yung left hand than your right hand. Ganun din, no? Between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Okay, now, this is very interesting. Further research revealed in connection to this model, no, that employees who are more intrinsically motivated versus employees who are more extrinsically motivated, magkaiba pala sila ng workplace mindset. Got that? So, it matters kung ikaw mas mataas ang extrinsic motivation mo or mas mataas yung intrinsic motivation mo, merong differences in workplace mindset. Merong mga qualitative differences between those people. Right? Now, which is better according to research in connection to this framework? Anong dominance of motivation na kapag mas dominante ka doon, mas mataas yung ganun mo, mas okay yung work outcomes mo? Data reveals it's intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation leads to very positive key performance indicators. Yung mga empleyado na mas dominante yung intrinsic motivation nila than extrinsic motivation are more committed, mas mataas yung engagement nila, mas nagpurpursue sila sa mga trabaho nila, mas meron silang desire for excellence, kaya gumaganda yung quality of work nila. So between these two, mas maganda kapag yung dominant motivation mo is intrinsic more than extrinsic. Now, let me give you some examples, no, of work-related behaviors na ibang-iba between intrinsically motivated employees and extrinsically motivated employees by reading to you some excerpts coming from this article. Yan, pwede nyo na lang i-download tong article na to from Google Scholar and read on your own. Basically, this article describes ano yung differences ng mga empleyado who are highly intrinsically motivated versus those who are highly extrinsically motivated. Yan. Sabi dito, zoom in natin. Employees who view their behavior as more internally driven perceive themselves as working toward the accomplishments of ideals. Those who view their behavior as a more externally driven perceive themselves as working towards the fulfillment of obligations. Merong pagkakaiba sa quality ng trabaho kapag ang isang tao ginagawa niya yung trabaho niya out of love versus out of obligation. Ang hirap ito i-explain, no, for students like you na wala pa masyadong exposure sa workplace, but you will understand this later as you enter the work field. Talagang iba ang galaw, iba ang energy ng taong mahal niya yung trabaho niya compared to someone na ginagawa lang niya yung trabaho niya simply because obligado siyang gawin. One article I recommend that you read in connection to this thought, no? May isang NBA player, si Pat Beverly, sabi niya, karamihan ng mga NBA players ngayon, hindi mahal ng basketball. Ano ang mahal nila? Mahal nila yung extrinsic reasons why they are a basketball player, specifically pera. Sabi niya, if you read the article, ang mga players ngayon sa NBA, pera-pera na lang. They play basketball out of extrinsic reasons. They want the fame, they want the money, they want the perks of being an NBA basketball player. So, kinumpara niya yung mga players ngayon sa mga players noon. Sabi niya yung mga players noon daw hindi ganyan. Because it used to be 20, 30 years ago. Yung mga sweldo ng players noon hindi naman ganun kalalaki compared to the salaries of players today. Like today, ang mga kontrata ng mga NBA players umaabot ng $40 million a year. Talagang very well rewarded financially ang mga NBA players ngayon, which is not the case 20, 30 years ago. Although malaki na rin naman yung sweldo ng mga NBA players noon, but not as crazy, not as wild as today's contracts. Nagigets nyo? So, technically, maliliit lang ang sweldo ng mga NBA players noon. Kaya karamihan ng mga NBA players noon, when they stay being a basketball player, they are playing basketball for the love of the game. Yung era na yon na hindi masyadong mukhang pera yung mga players, talagang they play basketball because they love playing basketball. In other words, in using the terminology we are studying now, karamihan ng mga basketball players noon are intrinsically motivated in playing basketball. Yung mga players ngayon, sabi ni Pat Beverly, are extrinsically motivated. And what's the difference? Basketball players then, noon, because they play the game intrinsically, they play the game out of love. And Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever, belongs to that group, to that era. Na talagang when he played basketball, when he started playing basketball, he played that with love, out of his love. Kaya nga naging slogan ng NBA yan during those times, I love this game. Because this is a basketball league where players who love the game so much come together and play basketball. Nagigets nyo? Kaya ang epekto niyan, kung papanoorin mo raw yung quality of games today versus quality of games 20, 30 years ago in NBA, you can really see the difference. Ibang-iba yung energy ng mga players noon kumpara sa mga players ngayon who are highly extrinsically motivated. Got that? So yun yung pinagkaiba ng highly extrinsic versus highly intrinsically motivated. Actually, even in the Bible, this principle can be observed. There was a time, si Jesus, sinabihan niya yung mga disciples niya na kapag pupunta sila sa mga bahay-bahay para magtrabaho as disciples, to drive away demons, to heal the sick, anong bawal gawin? Sabi ni Jesus, huwag silang tatanggap ng kahit na anong material things coming from those people that they serve. As you can read here in Luke chapter 9. Ang tanong, bakit? Si Jesus ba killjoy at ayaw niyang patanggapin ng material things yung mga disciples niya? After all, deserving naman siguro yung mga disciples niya. Naghirap naman yung mga disciples niya. Ano bang masama kung bigyan sila ng konting reward? The reason why Jesus prohibited his disciples from accepting these things, because Jesus wanted to keep being a disciple intrinsic. Gusto niya yung mga disciples niya, ginagawa nila yung trabaho nila because they love God, because they want to glorify God, which is an intrinsic reason. Because Jesus knows kapag ang mga disciples nasanay na kumukuha ng mga bagay-bagay from the people that they serve, baka dumating yung panahon, they become extrinsically motivated na lang. Kaya na lang sila nagda-drive away ng demons, kaya na lang sila nagpapagaling ng may sakit, para na lang makatanggap ng mga objects na yan, which is not good. Jesus wanted the disciples to be intrinsically motivated. Kasi mas mataas pa rin yung energy ng mga taong nagtatrabaho when they are intrinsically motivated compared to when they are highly extrinsically motivated. That's why nung na-realize ko to, talagang si Jesus siguro nabasa niya yung journal article na sinasabi ko. Of course, kidding aside, hindi kinakailangan ni Jesus na basahin tong article na to para malaman niya yung difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Jesus created IO psychology. Jesus created the mind that works. So alam niya talaga na ang mind ng tao, mas maganda yung energy na nalalabas sa trabaho kapag intrinsically motivated than extrinsically motivated. Alright? Jesus did not need to read the article. He already knows that, I'm sure. Because everything was created by Him and for Him. Anyway, tuloy natin yung article. Sabi, because they are intrinsically motivated, they choose more difficult goals. They are more willing to exert effort and persist longer in goal-directed behavior than employees who experienced external regulation, or kumpara sa mga empleyado na mataas ang extrinsic motivation. So given these words, another difference between highly intrinsically motivated and highly extrinsically motivated is their level of persistence. Mas nagper-persist, mas nagtsatsaga, mas hindi sila natitinag ng challenges. Yung mga taong matataas ang intrinsic motivation compared to people na mataas sa extrinsic motivation. And in connection to this, there was a study done about med students. As you know, ang pagiging med student, ang pag-enter sa med school, it's one of the most stressful and strenuous career path a person can take. Mataas ang dropout rate ng mga estudyanteng nagme-med school. Now, there was a study done, gusto nilang malaman anong difference ng mga estudyante who drop out of med school versus those students who persist in med school. Bakit nagda-drop out versus bakit nag-i-stay sa med school? And you know, one of the most powerful predictors that a student will stay in med school in spite of difficulties is, guess what? Karamihan daw ng mga med students na mataas ang intrinsic motivation, sila yung nag-i-stay. So, being high in intrinsic motivation is a powerful predictor why med students stay in the program. Mababa ang dropout rate ng mga estudyanteng mas mataas ang intrinsic motivation. Ang mga estudyanteng matataas ang extrinsic motivation in being a med student, gusto nilang mag-med student kasi sabi ng nanay nila, sabi ng tatay nila, kasi pogi, maporma kapag med student ka. Most likely, ito yung mga nagda-drop out. But those students na kaya gusto mag-med student because they want to contribute to the health of others. Gusto nilang gumaling yung mga taong may sakit. They want to contribute to the quality of people's lives. Kapag yan yung kanilang purpose of being a med student, very intrinsic, most likely, they would persist. Lower dropout rate. Kaya pwede mo rin ito i-connect sa nangyari sa 12 disciples. Bakit among the 12, si Judas ang nag-left the group? Bakit siya ang nag-betray sa grupo niya? Why not Peter? Why not James? Why not John? Answer, i-connect mo to sa topic natin because among the 12, we can see, if you read the Gospels, Judas was the most extrinsically motivated disciple. And what is the external factor that motivates Judas? Money. He loves money. You read the Gospels, talagang si Judas always gravitate towards financial issues. Mahilig siyang humawak ng pera. Kaya nga in the group, according to Bible scholars, ang official function ni Judas was, he was the official treasurer of the group. He always holds the money. Feeling niya, in line yung sarili niya sa trabaho niya na treasurer siya. Siya ang tagahawak ng pera. Kaya nga, ano nangyari? Siya rin yung pinaka-mababa yung loyalty sa grupo. Ang loyalty niya wala sa intrinsic reasons. It's not so much to glorify God, rather, it's where the money is. Kaya niya binetray yung grupo kasi nandun yung money. By betraying the group, he will get 30 pieces of silver. Got that? Yan yung behavior ng isang tao na mataas ang level ng extrinsic motivation than intrinsic motivation. They don't persist. Mababa ang sense of loyalty in a group. At maraming implications yan, no? Especially in the world of HR. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. Alright? So, exercise. For the following items, sabihin nyo lang if these statements reflect intrinsic or extrinsic motivation. Number 1, you can just pause the video if you need to. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. And number 5. Alright? So, after everything I've taught about motivation in the workplace, meron lang isang lesson na talagang gusto kong i-highlight that will tie everything I've said in this lecture. I hope you realize na in the workplace, when we deal about people who are working, hindi lang pera ang nagpapasaya sa empleyado. Because in our materialistic world, we have a tendency to reduce people into financial issues. Pera-pera lang yan in our colloquial term, di ba? So, sana na-realize nyo in this lecture na hindi lang puro pera ang hinahanap ng isang empleyado. That's why for those of you in the future who will handle an organization and you will have people working for you, under you, please lang, wag yung sasabihin tong statement na to, bayad ka naman or magkano ba? Those statements are so inhumane. Pag ginamit mo kasi yung mga statements na yan, you are assuming that everything about a human being can be satisfied by money. Tama? Bakit ka tinatamad? Magkano ba yung dapat kong ibigay sa'yo para sipagin ka? Baka kaya tinatamad yung empleyado, baka kaya siya hindi nagper-perform, meron siyang kailangan other than money. Kasi sa tunay na buhay, marami mga empleyado, kahit mataas ang sweldo, tamad pa rin. Hindi pa rin motivated sa trabaho and vice versa. May mga empleyado naman na mabababa ang sweldo, underpaid sila, pero super motivated sila magtrabaho. What does that prove? It proves that work behaviors cannot be defined by money alone. Kaya tama rin yung Bible eh. Sabi ng Bible, man does not live by bread alone. Tama yun. Hindi lang puro physiological needs dapat. Kung HR ka, HR staff ka, huwag mong isipin na pera-pera lang yung mga empleyado mo. Yung programs mo hindi dapat lagi lang sa salary increase. Because other than salary increase, don't get me wrong, it's still important. Money is still important, but it's not the only thing. Man does not live by bread alone. Meron pang ibang mga psychological needs kailangan yung empleyado mo for them to be motivated in the workplace. And as an HR person, yan ang trabaho mo. Isip ka ng mga HR programs that hit all the other needs that an employee needs in your organization. Of course, ulitin ko, kasama ang pera dyan. Huwag mo naman tanggalin sa programa mo yung salary increase. 'Di ba? Yung incentive programs, mahalaga yan. But other than that, kapag nasatisfy mo na itong monetary needs nila, hindi pa sapat yan. Isip ka pa ng mga HR programs na may kinalaman sa job security, camaraderie, importance, and self-actualization. The principle is the more you give these things to an employee, the more the organization secures these psychological elements, mas tumataas yung level of motivation ng mga empleyado. That's why going back to my question nung nag-start tayo in this series, anong meron sa mga empleyado ng mga magagaling na organization such as for example Google or Microsoft? Bakit ganun kagagaling yung mga empleyado nila? Anong sagot? Kasi in those organizations, for sure, itong mga psychological elements na to nabibigay sa mga empleyado. Got that? Kaya sila highly motivated in what they do. That's why lumalabas yon sa magagandang work performance nila. Let's not forget the framework I've shown you a while ago. Asan yun? Balikan natin. That's a very important framework. Ayan. That's why in IO psychology, increasing employee motivation is a very important skill by an HR staff. Because by increasing motivation, tumataas yon, people become better in the workplace. Alright? So, yan lang yung maikli nating lecture of motivation in the workplace. Marami pa akong ilalabas na lecture videos in connection to this topic. Abangan nyo yan. If you have any questions, ilagay nyo sa comment section. Sir Howard here. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.